Hey guys, welcome to Aina TV. And we have completed CES. It was an exciting time in Las Vegas. We have with us today Nitin Anand, CEO of Aoki. Nitin,
Hey,
how?
Conrad.
Hi man.
Absolutely amazing experience at CES, guys. I was there last year, CES 2015, and this year 2016. Big difference. A lot more people, and it was very exciting. So I'm excited to talk about it.
Yeah, this was my first time at CES, and I arrived from the 6th all the way to the 9th, but CES started on the 5th. So just to let you know a little bit about CES, the goal of the Consumer Electronics Show is to showcase the newest products and companies. What are they going to be bringing out for 2016, and what are they playing around in concepts for the next couple of years? So what are some ones that popped out at you?
Yeah, one of the things that really happened this time is it's Consumer Technology Association, or something related to technology now. It's changed from CES.
Right.
So it's not just consumer electronics, but it's overall technology.
Right.
I think that's perfect because you're not just talking about consumer electronics, but there's so much other technology that comes into play
Right.
to develop all these different devices and products that are coming out. That it was really great for them to change that name.
What do you remember from the past, what CES was, what your experience was of what last year, and what was different this year?
Last year was fairly easy because there were not too many people. I mean, CES draws 150,000 people, but this time actually there were a lot more than 150,000, and this is just the attendees that are accounted for.
Right.
And you have all the support staff that comes in, the people who organize the events, and they're supporting the city. So it was very crowded this time. I think it could have been a little more better organized, given that we knew that there are going to be a lot more people coming this year. But overall, what can you say? People were so excited just to be there. And it's basically like, being at the mecca of technology, and that's what was so interesting for all of us.
Yes, we had people from all over the world: Germany, Japan, China, Europe. A lot of technologists and engineers, and the companies that that hire them. It was phenomenal. I think we were in 3 main areas and covering huge space. The Las Vegas Convention Center in itself had about 3 areas, and then there was the Sands, the Venetian, and then there was another space. There's the Wynn. Yeah.
So you had so many companies. I mean, more than I think it was about 5,000 companies that attended, and it was just incredible. And as you know, I think there were about 30,000 people just from China.
Right.
So China has a huge participation at CES because, as you know, most of these electronic
devices are being
they're
created
all
there,
manufactured in China. And you could see that you had the Samsung and the bigger companies up front and in the main area. But as you walk around the periphery of the the area, you will see that there are a lot of these companies who are actually manufacturers, and they're branding these products for these bigger companies. So it was fascinating to meet a lot of folks from China.
There were huge booths. There were some from Intel. There were some from LG. There were some from Samsung Gear, and people were able to try on virtual reality devices, augmented reality devices, smartwatches, and all of these cool things. Were there any specific ones you got to try out?
I think this time, virtual reality, augmented reality, connected cars, and smartwatches. I would say these are the devices that really shine at CES this time.
In the connected car space, all of the cars that were showcased were smart cars, or in some way more capable than the cars today.
Absolutely. All the future cars that are being manufactured right now, and the current cars actually, and the future vehicles that are going to be manufactured, all of them are going to be smart connected. So they're going to be smart cars, they're going to be connected cars. And that's, consumers are not going to be able to say, okay, I don't want a smart device on in my car. It's not. It's just natural, because that's how the device industry is progressing. They want to sell more devices.
Right.
They've already sold enough cell phones and smartphones and tablets to consumers. Now what is next? Now we want to make cars and washing machines and appliances more connected and more smart.
Connected homes, connected offices, and we had people coming up to showcase CEOs like Intel CEO talking about the technology of tomorrow, and other CEOs. Do you remember any? YouTube's?
Yeah, absolutely. There were all these keynotes that happened in the morning, right? And so, of course, I hardly attended any of those because I was very busy with focusing on what we were planning to do as Oyoki, we had a few members from our
Right.
team, including you. So
Right.
for me, it was early morning, just getting up and trying to catch up for the day and planning. That was most of these companies that were out there. They were showcasing. Samsung was a big player.
Right.
It's always there. Samsung, Intel. Intel had a very creative booth this time, and I would say that they've come up with fairly decent technology that's not maybe useful at this time, but 2 years down the line, you will see a lot of those technologies that companies like Intel are developing. They're going to be out there in the consumer space, and hopefully mass adoption will be there.
Yeah, there's so many new things coming out, and for all of the companies that are coming here to Las Vegas, what was some of the key things that companies were trying to accomplish, like Oyoki, for example?
Yeah, I mean, there are two different types of companies. For us, we are a startup company, we're a small player in this ecosystem, but obviously we are working on technology that is going to be used, 10 years, 20 years down the line. I mean,
Right.
you're going to have the technology that we are focusing on right now, implemented and used in the next decade or more. That's the hope that we have. But then you have the bigger companies, the device players, the
Right.
hardware manufacturers. Now these players are obviously working on the hardware side of things,
Right.
and so they need a lot more help on the software and the content side. That's where companies like Oyoki and say Aina TV or other content providers are coming in. So it was a fairly good mix of hardware and software, and I think both these players, ecosystem players, have to work very closely to ensure that there is value in these new devices. So you
Right.
cannot just have a device and then not have content or software being developed by software companies and other folks. So that's the idea. There has to be a synergy between all these players, and I
Right.
think it was very well done during CES at this time. And we, Oyoki, we actually met with a lot of these bigger players. In fact, Intel Recon was one of the ones that stood out for me specifically, because their virtual reality and augmented reality device kind of looks like a visor on a fighter jet helmet.
It's so futuristic.
It's very futuristic, and I wore it, and I was so excited about it. But I could see the Oyoki technology on that device, and that's what we spoke about when we spoke about our technology with the Intel guys.
Right.
They felt that they needed our SDK to put on those devices, because
Right.
content is king right now. And
There's things like the augmented reality devices. There's some words that are going to be more popular later in the future, but for now, you guys are still learning about it. So augmented reality is, imagine the glasses have a ability for you to see information beyond your regular glasses. Okay, you can see clearly with your glasses if you had eye problems, but now you can see whether or not this store is having a sale, or you can see what is the information about this company
Right.
as you're walking up to it.
Yeah, augmented reality, in the word itself, it explains, right? Your reality is augmented.
Right.
Augmented with information, augmented with contextual information that's coming in,
Right.
location-based information, and then obviously, things that we do. We provide more content and more engagement
Right.
while you're wearing such devices. Now, virtual reality was a big player also this time.
Right.
And virtual reality is exciting because it is virtual reality. It is not the reality that you know of. It is something that you put on as a device, and then that's your new reality. And so you'll have a new way of interacting with that reality. And so it's so exciting that all these devices are coming up. And Oyoki is excited to just be part of this new paradigm shift that's happening.
Right.
I mean, you can sit in front of your television screen or your laptop or desktop or even a tablet, but now you have another reality coming in.
And these are going to be useful for educational purposes, for connecting to families across the world. So many new things that are allowing our world to become smaller. Did you see the drones? There were some big flying drones, but
Absolutely.
instead of just the little ones, there was ones that people could sit in.
Drones were big too at CES this time, but what I was really fascinated about is a couple of players were flying drones using virtual reality.
Wow.
That to me was
Wow.
last year when I was at CES 2016. I actually met the hardware manufacturer. I think they were from Taiwan, And what I saw is that they had the screen on both sides of the phone.
Mm.
So just like you have the Samsung Edge,
Yeah.
they had the screen on both the sides.
I'd be
So
scared to drop it, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. So wherever you keep your phone, however you keep it, the screens and the notifications would show up. So
There were so many accessory companies for all of these technologies, and so I think a lot of manufacturers for
Absolutely.
these devices were showcasing what are all the things that could help help make the technology better. Like, okay, so you have a phone, but then there were I think about like a million iPhone covers
Oh, yeah. I
and
mean,
other booths.
this, to me, for example, what I was talking about earlier is that for me, what was fascinating is that you have all these players who are very small companies. No one knows really about
Tiny,
them in the
yeah.
US, right? There's some manufacturer in Taiwan or some, hardware company in China, and they're working on technology that's going to be, out in 5 years. And you obviously focus mostly on the bigger players. But for me, the exciting part was to actually go and see at the back of the, event where the event was happening at the area and see what is happening and who's working on this, technology that the bigger players are going to adopt in, maybe a year, 2 years.
So get excited, guys. There's the next Netflix, the next YouTube, the next Google coming out, and they're tiny guys. We don't even know about them yet, but they'll be coming out in the future.
Yeah, I think from the hardware side, I definitely feel that Asia, China, Taiwan, Malaysia, all these countries have taken over. I think that's, we can design stuff here in the US. But on the other hand, I think there is huge opportunity for US, software and content companies.
Right.
Because the content is not coming from Asia. The content is coming from US. And so there is an opportunity here. If the devices are being manufactured in places like China and Taiwan, the content has to be manufactured here. So I feel
Right.
that is an untapped market.
And if you're going to school, that means you should focus on computer programming, web design, things that are going to be able to be built on your computer here. And then all the hardware and tech stuff, they can be put together here in the
Absolutely.
US.
Absolutely. You cannot have content, developed somewhere else because that content is being consumed by, the US and other countries. So, and I think there is a lot more creativity on that side. People are very creative, and so you want to have that ecosystem build a lot more. So, when you talk to your interns, I know you're going to, go back and talk to about 100 interns for different companies. So you got to push them towards, looking at that as a career option.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's been exciting coming to CES. Check out all of our videos. We have about 24 hours of recorded film. And so have fun and check out all the cool devices, all the new companies that are coming out, and all the big guys that are coming out with cool stuff for 2016 and the future. So watch out, guys.
Thank you.